Hey YouTubers and toy train lovers. I thought I'd clear all the Mark's Tinplate off my track, off my layout, and in order to do that I had a box in the way, and I'd forgotten I had this old American flyer, the Comet, and so I thought I'd run that for you along with some of the marks still up there. I've got my green and cream M10,000 and my red and white Mercury articulated set. But give you a little history on this. This was actually a very good copy that American Flyer made of a real train. It was made in 1935. It was called the Comet. It was a diesel-electric streamliner built for the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad by the Goodyear Zeppelin Company. And it apparently broke all speed records, and let's see, a trial run from New Haven to Boston, more than 120 guests on board. The Comet covered the 156.8 miles and 143 minutes, averaging 65.7 miles an hour. It had, I do believe that it broke a speed record of 115 miles an hour. This would have been without all the guests on board. This had air conditioning and shock absorbers, the real ones. I think American Flyer did a terrific job of reproducing this. When I was a kid, I thought I had Lionel Marks trains. I thought all American Flyers were S gauges. I had no idea that they made them before World War II, and they were three-rail O gauges. And so this was my first American Flyer train. I bought it 10 years ago. Of course, like all the rest of the trains I usually buy, it didn't work. It had a missing drive wheel, and the frames were thoroughly tweaked. And drive wheel wasn't a problem. I was really surprised. Fortunately, it wasn't the geared side, but I was really surprised to see that a Mark's wheel was exactly the same size as the American Comet, the American Flyer wheel for the Comet. I had to, pardon me, I had to drill out the hub a little bit, and I put a little Gorilla Glue inside there, and it's been going for 10 years. So the hardest part of the job was straightening out these frames or shells, get them to go. And I find it interesting that Marks and obviously American Flyer used spare parts from other trains, pieces of sheet metal that were already painted, to complete their other sets. And I have seen 3 other Comet sets, and they all have this red reinforcement in the window. And you'll have there's a reinforcement here which holds these little wheels, and that is a very bright shiny green underneath here, and under here there's a bright blue. So I find that to be kind of fascinating. Now there's a surprise on the end of this train. We've got a locomotive here, 3 passenger cars, just like the original. And another locomotive. And what American Flyer did is they simply made this into a dummy and put a center pickup so you had a headlight. But on the original Comet, the engineer would get into the station, he would leave this section of the train, lock up his controls, then walk down to the end of the train, which is the front of the train for us, unlock the door, and he would use the controls from this locomotive to run the train until he got to his next station. Now, what is fascinating is that he was also able to, if one of the locomotives broke down, he was able to either pull or use the back unit to push this car at 70 miles an hour, which I think is a pretty good idea. I know they have a lot of the European trains, particularly through Northern Europe, are using the same idea, except I believe they have pantograms and they have overhead electric lines. But this is where the idea came from. And 1935 from the USA. And I would call this a Yankee in its basic design of the locomotive. I think you'd agree if you've ever seen a Yankee before, that this is as close as you come to a Yankee. And this is, like I say, very, very good copy of the real train. And this is simply Tinplate. American Flyer did make these a deluxe version in aluminum. They of course did not have the 2 engines, but that's about all I know about it, except that it runs now and I enjoy it. So let's have a little less talk and let's run this train. Now I wish I had a larger layout. It really deserves to have a larger layout to run this at a higher speed. And I can't run this at its maximum speed or it will derail. start out this old M10,000. Put some music on. I don't know if Bernie's enjoying the trains or not. Seems to just be oblivious. Okay, thanks for watching. Now I get to pack all these trains away. But it's nice to see the old Comet out running again. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.